Two questions I always get asked when I'm out on the bike. One, what got me into motorbikes? Two, why Harley Davidson? And this is the reason why.
We all been lost, we all been cold. Everyone rise to our brethren call. Let's all rise to the brethren call.
Back in 1979, there was a film that came on. It was called Quadrophenia. It was to do with the mods and the rockers. It detailed events of what happened back in Brighton Beach in 1965, maybe, or 66. It came out in 1981-82, very popular film in the cinema. A couple of my friends had went out and bought scooters at the time. Being good friends of mine, obviously I'm just going to follow suit. I was only 16 at the time. I was working part-time in the butchers and I didn't have a lot of money then, so I had went and asked my mum, could she lend me some money to buy a scooter? And so I bought a 150cc Super Vespa. Whenever it came up in the newspaper, it said it was 1971, but when I purchased it and looked at the logbook, it was actually 1965. Didn't matter to me. It was a scooter. I fell in love with it, but it was a vintage motorbike. And every week, over my summer holidays, I worked and I saved up a lot of money, well, pocket money, what spare money I had, to go out and customize this particular scooter. To the point where it looked like identical to Sting's scooter in Quadrophenia. Always broke down. No offense, Vespa, but they do tend to break down quite a lot. Fast forward, I don't know if they're any better now, but back in those days, they broke down quite a lot. The next couple of years, done my test on the bike. There was a 150, anything over a 125 in those days. It enabled you to, if you passed your test, it enabled you to ride any bike, any cc. I was lucky enough I got my test the first time, so that's how I got my first bike. It was great fun. I had it for about 3 years. So fast forward, when I was 21, a lot of my friends had bought cars at that time. They were getting too old for Vespa scooters. And so they sold the scooters, bought cars. I'd done the same. So anyway, fast forward to that, to when I was 53 years of age. Back in 2018, my wife was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and by January 2019, she passed away. And I just went in a meltdown. It was probably the most horrible experience of my life. Going around about April, May time, go through a lot of mental health issues, which I didn't know I had. My friends had seen it, I didn't see it. I suppose didn't want to believe it, but I sought help from my doctor. I was offered medication, which I didn't take, but I did get help, and it did really help me. So, not knowing what to do with myself, spare time, I discussed with a friend about the Harley Davidson motorbikes, and I'd wanted to do a 4 or 5 day trip of the Wild Atlantic Way in August time, and we had planned to go to Belfast Harley Davidson and hire a couple of motorbikes out for those 5 days, but by the time you added up the cost, it was quite expensive, and so with that money I decided, just jumped on my 2 feet, and I started to go online to look for prices of motorbikes. There was 2 bikes I'd noticed. There was a 2002 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail Classic, and there was a 2003 Harley Davidson Fat Boy. I was originally going to look at the Fat Boy, but for some reason I kept going back to the Softail just because of its customization. It was a stunning bike. I was nervous because I knew they were heavy bikes. I thought, what better way to learn on a motorbike is on your own bike rather than somebody else's bike. So I jumped on with 2 feet. The day that I went up, I was so nervous, I couldn't even take it for a test ride, so I bought it as seen. So anyway, I used that bike to do the Wild Atlantic Way, and it was great fun. It was really, really good fun, and it must have clocked up about nearly 1,000 miles over those 4 or 5 days. It got me so much confidence. This is how I came about to owning my own motorbike, through difficult circumstances at the time, but looking back now, it was probably one of the best things that I ever done, was to switch off, get on the bike and ride. If you haven't subscribed, just hit that wee button to the right. I'd really appreciate it and help my channel grow. Until the next one, bye bye.